Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Vibes only, psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama. Vibes only, psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Good Vibes, Thick Thighs. I am your host, Gemini 211, aka Bad Bitch Energy. I'm here with my co-host.
It's Roxy.
Brujita? Wait, are you still a Brujita, or are you like just Roxy now?
Roxy now.
She grew up. She grew up. She's just Roxy now. I'm glad that we've been able to have a successful season so far.
More than halfway done. And it's been incredible with the guests that we've had.
Totally been life learning. I feel like just from everybody that we've had from season 1 to now, it's just like everybody has this little bit to add to the Good Vibes Thick Thighs podcast. You know, everybody's been able to bring something to the podcast, something to our listeners. And everybody's been able to take something or learn something from it. So it's definitely been a blessing, I feel.
Oh, for sure. Right when we feel like we've heard it all, I feel like someone comes in with like a statement or like something where we're just like, damn, okay, say it one more time for the people in the back. Like last week's episode, Christina Flack, her uncomfortable being comfortable. Oh, wait, I got that reversed. Her comfortable being uncomfortable statement was the one that we kept on going back to during her episode.
And I truly believe in that because I just feel like for a lot of us, change is hard. Any type of change, like anything that ruins or messes up or changes our daily routine becomes hard. And sometimes we get frustrated. But I feel like with that statement and just looking at how far along she's come, it's kind of like, yeah, there's good at the end of this change. So now I look at change and obstacles like, all right, I'm expecting something so positive from this or something that's going to change me, maybe take me out of situations or disconnect me from people. And I feel like that goes along with our topic for today. Disconnecting from people, learning boundaries, learning to love yourself, learning to set yourself up for success in many ways, shapes, or form. So our topic that we chose for this week is healthy boundaries.
This is probably going to be. I feel like it is, especially because it's so broad topic that it covers a lot of areas in life, but at the same time, it's just simple steps in order to create and maintain those healthy boundaries. And I can't recall if it was for the June horoscope or the July horoscope, but in one of those is where it was like an Aries card pull that you did, and it was talking about boundaries. And I remember saying like, that's exactly what I'm going through right now, trying to maintain these healthy boundaries and not feeling guilty about it. And the whole wedding process planning amplified my need to maintain those healthy boundaries without feeling guilty.
It will 100%. Girl, there's going to be more to come with that, which is good.
Just wedding planning alone is the reason why I said in that horoscope episode, like, yes, that's what I'm dealing with right now, maintaining my healthy boundaries for the sake of myself and like not feeling guilty. And then since that recording to now, it's still another set of like experience that happened regarding wedding planning where I'm just like, here I am again trying to maintain these healthy boundaries, like, and it's stressing me the fuck out, and to the point where it's like, is it even worth keeping my boundaries, or should I just say fuck it, okay, do it?
That, and you know what, you're not alone with that, because I feel like 99.999% of people feel the same way, right? Like even in a relationship where we're like, okay, here's my boundaries, and you're not gonna cheat on me again because the next time you cheat, I'm leaving, and then they cheat, and then you're like, wait, I'm not ready. Wait, I'm not financially stable. Wait, I'm not like all these things. So I feel like your situation is exactly the same. And this is why I'm so glad we talk about this, because we did I personally got a few stories and, things like that with people that I've worked with. So I'll share a few things from just life and some stories from what we've received and some messages that I've received. And I'm like, Roxy, this is why we do our podcast. Look at this message. This is the help that we need to give, or this is like the kudos to us for like fucking we're badasses and helping spread love and light. So I love this topic, but be prepared for some deep healing or maybe some tears.
Oh, for sure. And as a reminder, as always, if you guys, after any episode or after any point in life where you guys are still feeling kind of like lost and you want clarification or clarity, well, I should say, if you want clarity and like a deep dive into a specific situation you're going through, you could definitely hit us up. Drea has her Gemini 211 where you can sign up for readings. I have my Intuitive Rocks where you could ask for oracle energy readings as well, and we could just dive deep and dissect whatever situation you're going through. So
absolutely promoting yourself, girl. Promote it.
Promoting us. I have to keep a reminder since the last time we did a solo episode. Like, I'm gonna keep reminding our listeners, see who hits us up aside from the usual, which we appreciate. So moving on to the healthy boundaries, it's been categorized into 6 different major boundary topics, which include physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, time boundaries, sexual boundaries, intellectual boundaries, and material boundaries. And the material boundaries, I feel like, can coincide with some websites and some resources that refer to it as financial boundaries.
I love this topic. I love it. I feel like it's a topic that
there's so much to go over. Like it's crazy, and this may need to come with a part 2 where we might need like a fucking therapist to jump on and really go into it. So I mentioned the 6 major types of boundaries. And then there's a difference between setting a hard boundary and a soft boundary. So your hard boundaries are your non-negotiables. Those are the ones that you like, no, there's no way I'm gonna bend on this. There's no way I'm gonna like let you cross this line. Like, it's either you listen to my hard boundary that I'm setting or fuck you, Do you have a hard boundary with people?
I do. I'm super like energetic. Like, I'm all about energy. So my hard boundary is like, if your energy is just funky, off, mad, angry, anything that's not like light, I'm done. Like, I'll remove myself from the room. Maybe if it's through like a phone call, I'm like, all right, gotta go. The text message, all right, I'm not responding. I'm not even gonna look at my phone, because then you're just gonna heat me up, and I'm not trying to be in that element that you're in. Or I just walk away, like the conversation's done. I've learned to have the RBF and be like, it's done. Like, too bad, so sad. Bye, catch me on another day. So like, it's literally energy. Like, just like my friend, when you walk into my doorway, I have a bunch of like black tourmaline, I have amethyst, just to like ease the energy of the house and easing the energy of like rooms and space. So that probably, my hard boundary was definitely not my hard boundary during my healing sessions, because how many times are we like, I was that girl where I'm like, fuck this, you cheat again, I'm leaving. And then like you cheat again and I'm like, but why? Okay, one more chance. And that like just goes and goes, even though in my head I'm like, I have this boundary that the next time I'm fucking leaving no matter what. And then you're just stuck in that, like, just kidding, I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Where you can't maintain that boundary. My hard boundary, my non-negotiable would be narcissist. I've already cut 2 people out of my life. Once I see that their behavior is very much reflecting one of a narcissist, I will don't get me wrong, I don't just, drop off the face of the earth on them,
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, no. That would be, bad of me, because narcissists love to play the silent game, like how hypocritical would I be if I did that to them? No. I end up explaining to them, like calling them out on their behavior basic. Like, dude, stop gaslighting me. Like, this is what happened. Why are you trying to change it up and play the victim? Just admit your faults type of thing, you know?
No, I need that energy because I'm having that situation, but I'm not staying, well, I am staying quiet because I just feel like I don't want to indulge because that person's energy is fucking bad. Like
Low.
it's dark. No, it's some dark shit. It's some like you need a whole limpia and fucking times 1,000. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm battling demons. So I just stay away. You know what I mean? A few times I've been like, bro, you should go get a read. Let's get a reading. Like, come to me so that when you come to me, I'm like, bro, you have Santeria, you have fucking, you need a limpia. Let me hook you up.
Yeah. Where in your readings, you're like, it's a tarot talking. And low key, it's like, this is what I've
Yeah,
been trying to tell
exactly. Tarot's telling me,
you.
yeah, Tarot's like, go get a limpia right now. Um, so I feel like I need your bound, like in this case where I'm like, I have to be
I'm
able
a huge communicator, huge
to.
communicator. When me and the fiance got together, I'm like, love me, communicate with me, and be loyal. That's how easy it is to maintain my happiness. Like, and I'll throw it in his face, like, you know, I love to talk. Like you've known this since day one. I like talking things out. Um, I've gotten how like expressing myself, especially like let's say work. There is a boundary that they're crossing with me where it's like, bro, they're taking advantage of me or something. I've understood that there's a manner to express myself to them in a way where it's not coming from just an emotional part of me, where it's
Mhm.
also coming from a place of like professional, like, okay, I understand we need this at a certain time, but it's not in my bandwidth to be able to complete that task right now. Unless you want to meet, bump it up in priority, just understand it's going to domino affect the other,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
instead of being like, I can't, like, what are you doing? You already give me so much shit to work. Like, I'm not getting paid enough for this type of thing. Like, flipping off on that obviously would look way worse than like, let me clean it up a little bit and not,
Point. That's a good point because I do have I did a reading for a girl not too long ago who was having issues with work, with people at work. And she was just like, Andrea, I'm about to explode. Like, I'm like, you cannot go back to the old version of you. So, how did you get, and I know she listens to this podcast. So, what have you done or how did you change your mindset to get to that mindset for work?
I've said this before, but honestly, getting Vero Estrada as a life coach really helped me because I feel like like any habit, it's hard to break unless
Mhm.
someone's consistently on you. Just like building a new habit is hard to do unless someone's consistently on you, because I feel like we could only do so much on our own, like, but working with someone that's obviously their job to be like, bro, be on your ass, basically, kind of like you are with your
Holding us
kids.
accountable. Holding us
Yeah.
accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to go that route of getting a life coach. You could go with like a friend and be like, yo, can you hold me accountable if I start doing this? And I'll do the same with you. I know sometimes we have that friend where we just vent on each other, like
Yeah.
trauma dump, vent, whatever. And it could get hard on the other person and we don't realize it. And just maintaining like a boundary where when you need a vent, you say, hey, you have room for me? Letting them know, like, I need to lay some shit on you. Like, are you mentally prepared, instead of just coming to lay some shit on them. Then they could be mentally prepared and be like, you know what, right now is not a good time. Let's grab coffee, Friday.
Yeah.
It's little adjustments like that where it's just not like you're flipping shit and you're like, okay, hold on. And this is one of the steps where it says like how to create the boundary and how to maintain it is literally taking time to reflect on the situation before reacting.
Which a lot of us do is we react instantly because it's just in our
Oh, fuck
nature.
yeah.
We're always in that fight or flight mode. I have to tell you, my whole life, basically, it was fight or flight. And I noticed that like it takes a lot for me to get back into that fight or flight. But I went to the Morgan Wallen concert. You guys know I posted it on
How
maybe
many has that been that you've seen him now?
a
I feel
lot.
like you see it. Yeah. Morgan Wallen, if you're out there, we officially have your number one fan.
I just want a picture. That's
Is
it.
he your hall pass?
Yes, he is. Well, no, no, no. He's not. You want to know something funny? Is I have a TikTok crush. I never told anybody. Okay. I have a TikTok crush. So I'm at the concert and it was my daughter, me, and my husband. And our seat, we were floor seats, but next to like the bar that they have like made like a bar right next to our like section. And I turn over and I'm like, that kind of looks like my TikTok crush. And my husband's like, who? And I'm like, so I point him out, but then he wasn't that cute. Like, you're cuter on TikTok.
I hate when that happens.
So we're at this concert and we were like third seat in from the aisle. Okay. So
Okay.
behind us was this couple, and then next to them was some, I don't know, some females. Halfway through the concert, the females start yelling about I don't know what. And I'm like, oh my God, really? Like, I paid all this money to look at this concert, not deal with you guys fucking fighting. So I let it be. And then maybe 30 minutes later, these two guys that were still in our section, but a few rows back, they start talking shit. And it was like, oh, brawl's about to go down right now. Like, this fucking ridiculous. Like, so the security comes to break it up before it even starts. Well, they leave the two girls, and these two girls start talking shit to another girl. And like, you could see people, these girls were little, like, these people were like picking up the girls and putting them back in their seats. While the couple behind me ended up leaving. I think it was just too much. Like, you couldn't enjoy, like, so the two girls moved in a little bit closer, so they're now behind me. And I had a tank top on and shorts. It's hot. Well, the freaking girl kept spilling her drink on me. Like, the first
Oh my
time I
God.
get it. The first time I get it. Second time, like, you're fucking drunk. I get it. Well, I don't know what she does, but she's holding her drink and she starts yelling at somebody in the rows, like, fuck you. As she's yelling at this whoever person, she's spilling her drink. And then I'm like, all right, fucking dumb bitch. Like, I'm about to sock you in your face. Like, this is enough. So I let her rant. And I go into fight or flight mode. I put my hair up in a ponytail because I was about to fucking sock her because I was so annoyed. Like, this, like, you ruined like at least a good hour of the concert. Like, floor seats are expensive. It's not like we paid $100. Okay. So you're ruining my time because you're fucking yelling. But I knew that she was just fucked. Like, she was beyond fucked up. Like, you're not even going to remember what the fuck you did. And she starts screaming about her relationship, being so drunk. Like, I just want a man to love me. My ex-husband was a narcissist. Like, just fucking ranting to, I don't even know. And I was just like, I finally at one point I did put my hair up because I was covered in alcohol, annoyed as fuck because I don't even drink. I put my hair up and I turned around and I said, check this out. The next time you fucking spill your drink on me, I'm about to fucking sock you, dude, because I can't handle this. Like, I'm here for a concert, and if you have any issues, you need to get the fuck on. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't think she even understood me, so she just kind of like went like that, like rolled her eyes a little bit, shut the fuck up, and then I just like looked to the front, and then she left. I don't know, but I was just like, dude, I was here for a good time and you ruined it. My boundaries and my old fight or flight mode, it took me some time, but it came out.
I mean, that's understandable with anybody. Like, you keep poking the bear, it's gonna like fucking wake up, and you're not gonna like the what comes of it, you know?
Oh, I was so annoyed. Especially only because like I don't drink. I don't fucking want to smell like alcohol. Like, I came to a concert not to leave smelling like fucking alcohol in my car, you know?
Yeah,
So,
that sucks.
but I feel like
But
my boundaries were definitely tested, and I felt like a part of me was like, oh, the old version of you came out because you put your hair up ready to fight. Like, why? Like, the new version of me shouldn't, I mean, I should be angry, but not in that fight mode, you know?
yeah. And I think that has to do with you holding it in for so long throughout that time that that's why you were just like, fuck. And you just went straight to the extreme instead of maybe after like the first, second time it happened, you turn around, hey, can you be a little bit more careful? That way, when you start escalating to the fight, you have a reason because it's like, this bitch didn't listen to me when I was like at my
First,
healing,
yeah, you're right.
calm Drea
Yeah.
stage, you know?
Yeah. I was already like, I fucking can't handle this shit. I literally can't handle this right now. Like, I love concerts, and you ruined like an hour of my show because you're yelling at everybody and you're not even remembering. Like, I don't know. Maybe just
Yeah.
'cause I'm a huge Morgan Wallen fan, so I'm like, you ruined my time. But let's talk about soft boundaries and what soft boundaries are. So that we know the difference. So soft boundaries are kind of like things that you are willing to compromise with. So I don't know what would be a good example of something that I would consider a soft boundary.
So I
I
feel
don't.
like soft boundaries are probably like baby steps to hard ones. Like they're goals you're setting for yourself to maintain, but because they're still soft on like the beta stage, quote unquote, you still allow them to be crossed.
Well, how do you go? How do you? I say this because of all the people I deal with. I feel like a lot of them believe they're in hard boundary stage, but we're really in this like in between soft and hard. Like we don't, we're in that transition.
I feel like it goes back to what you mentioned, where it's like they're cheating on me, and I'm here. I am thinking I'm setting a boundary, like I'm leaving you because you're cheating. Oh, never mind. Here I come back. You know, it's not really a boundary you're setting. Like you're letting them push the limits. Where's the line? Is it
That's
dotted?
that's exactly that is,
They're going in between the dashes, like.
and I think it comes with like confidence, self-confidence, because a lot of times, a lot of our boundaries are relationship related, especially for our followers. And it could be relationship with your kids, with your husband, spouse, whatever. I feel like we kind of go back and forth with it, like it's kind of easier to let boundaries be broken and have that dotted line. I feel like a lot of us
Mhm.
struggle with the solid line, and we're all living majority of our life in the dotted line, which is hard.
Especially when you're barely starting to, if you're a people pleaser, you're one that, can't say no. You're one
Yeah.
that often puts yourself into guilt feeling because you've made time for self-care, you made time for yourself. You're still at the beta soft boundary set stage where like you're probably like, my God, this friend that keeps on asking to borrow my car. Next time I'm gonna tell him no. And the next time comes and you're like, okay, this is the last time though. And then it's not the last time.
Yep, that's very true. And I feel like a lot of us live in I love the example of how you said like the dotted lines. So I feel like a lot of us live in those dotted lines. A lot of our boundaries are dotted, and we need to convert from the dotted to the solid lines. Like this is the boundaries, this is the limits. You're not overstepping it. And it comes with any thing in like how she said the six types of boundaries: the physical, emotional, time boundary, sexual, intellectual, and material, like all across the board, setting those boundaries and living through them. But I feel like it's hard for some of us to make the solid line boundaries because we don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. Where I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, I don't want to hurt their feeling. I don't want to say no. I don't want to cause drama. So it's easier to just have the dotted line than it
Yeah.
is to have a solid line.
Not knowing that in the long run it's affecting them more than it would to set that hurt their feelings at one time and go from there. So we're going to break down each of the six major boundaries. The first one we're going to break down is the physical boundary, which physical boundaries also, I feel like physical boundaries also include when to know when to do some self-care.
Oh, 100%.
Physical is basically your personal space, your privacy, your body. If you're someone who's not comfortable with people giving you hugs, aka me, fucking set those boundaries. Like, I'm not one, like, when we're leaving my parents' house, I'm not one. I tell my kids, say bye to everybody. If they were to just be here and be like, bye, okay, he said bye to everybody. I'm not going to make them go up to like every family member and hug them because then I'd be teaching them, like, no, you need to let people cross your physical boundary that your personal space.
I'm totally opposite. I'm like, go
Let's
say
hug.
bye to everybody. Yeah. I mean, I don't care if you hug, but like go to each individual and say bye. Like, Bye, bye, bye. My mom's a hugger, so yeah, go hug my mom. But if you're uncomfortable with the hugs, we do the shoulder hug.
What's the shoulder hug? Oh, side to side?
Like if you come at me like an open hug, like okay, I have all daughters, right? So if like grandpa comes with like an open hug, they instantly know like, bye, grandpa. You're not gonna go boobs to boob.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, yeah.
So
So
it's kind of,
sideways,
yeah, like you could
where
come,
it's still open and it's not a closed circle when they're hugging.
yeah. So you
Okay.
just so they walk in with just like an instant like, hey, you're getting the shoulder, bye. Like
Yeah.
cover the boob area because nobody needs to feel it. I don't know. All my kids are different. Actually, they all, for the most part, hug and say bye, but they all do the same shoulder. And it's weird because some of like they, I don't want to feel boobs. So they'll be like, okay, bye, mom. I love you. And then when you do boob to boob, I'm like, oh God, don't fucking do that to me. That's so, you're my kid and I don't want to feel your boobs, dude.
I mean, as the
No.
president of the itty bitty committee, I have no experience of that.
I used to be a part of that, and then I started eating a lot of fast food, and I'm not a part of that team no more. Over the past year, like I grew up.
What's crazy is that when I start losing weight, I know we're getting off topic, but when I start losing weight, I will start losing my ass and my boobs before I
Yeah,
lose belly. And
yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
what the fuck?
Me too. That's me.
Let it stay in my boobs. Let the girls have some. But yeah, so that's the physical boundaries. It also, what I've read is because it's all about your body, right? It could also be not only just like physical touch, but because it's part of your body, it could also be part of like setting boundaries with your what foods you're getting. Like, you know
Mhm.
how there's people that say like, here, try this. And you're like, no, thank you. And they're like, no, 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 try it. That's already them crossing your boundary of you setting like you don't want that food in your body, you know? And
Right.
they're like trying to like force
Force
you to
you.
try it. Yes. That when I read that, I was like, fuck, that's true. Like that's a physical boundary that we're setting when we say, no, I don't want to try it, or no, I'm not hungry right now. Come on, just eat with me. I don't want to eat alone. Like they're
It's kind of
making
like
you
I feel
feel
like
guilty
boundaries are like peer pressure to a certain extent. Like
when
because
they're
people
crossing it. Yeah.
so it's like, come on, try this. Come on, let me do this. Come on, come on. I don't do peer pressure. You could fucking try so hard. I don't if I say no, it's no. Like I don't care what it is. It's no. Like don't ask again because no. Sorry. It's if I say maybe, then you know kind of like you might be able to wheel me in, but if I say like no, I'm not trying that. No, I'm not drinking that. No, I'm not going there. I'm really not doing any of it. So don't ask.
Yeah.
Quit, waste your time. Don't waste your time. The next one is sexual boundaries.
That's a
And
huge one.
that is a lot. But sexual boundaries are like comments, touches, obviously intimacy, expectations of intimacy, like, like say, I don't know, your boo wants a blowjob and you're like, fuck no, like I don't want to. And it gets forced, which goes to a message that I got that I sent to Roxy about someone. And the message to me was somebody that was writing pretty much like a journal, I guess, of a sexual situation with her sexual boundaries that were set. And I kind of feel like it was like a journal of this is what happened, and we kind of lived through the moment of the boundaries trying to be broken, I guess, right?
Yes. Because even though you're living with your spouse, you're living with your partner, you're married, you have a boyfriend, your partner, spouse, boyfriend, husband, whatever they are to you, can still cross that sexual boundary. You are not a toy for them to be like, okay, I need sex now and you're going to give it to me. And if they use the threat like, I'm going to go get it from someone else, it's like, that's
I
no, that's them trying to guilt trip you into changing that solid line of a boundary you set and changing it to a dotted line for them to cross.
if he said that, if my husband said that, I'd be like, bye, go handle your shit, bro. Like, ain't nobody gonna handle you. Once they realize all your flaws, they're gonna be like, fuck no, go back. not sexual flaws, just flaws in general. Like, you know, like you don't do your own laundry, you don't pick up after yourself, like all the man shit where I'm like,
Yeah,
can't
that's
handle
so funny. You gotta specify, not the sexual flaws.
it.
Trust me. He's not liking their ladies. Um, Another sexual boundary that could be crossed is someone lying to you about their STDs that they may have,
Oh
what
my
they're
God. I
carrying.
was just thinking
That's a
I have a
huge one.
I have a story. So we went out for
Okay.
drinks on Friday. We were celebrating somebody's birthday and he was turning like 46. So everybody's older.
Mhm.
They reserved a room at this restaurant and there was 10 people. So me and my husband show up and it was the guy celebrating his birthday. He's single, okay. About 5 or 6 girls, and then his cousin and the wife and me and my husband. And all these girls are like in these pencil dresses, like high heels, all dolled. I came in chanclas, jeans, and a t-shirt, whatever. We had a good time. We were eating. But you could tell all those girls, once they got some alcohol, they wanted to hook up.
Mhm.
So they were all flirty with the guy or whatever. We went to a bar after that dinner and the girls kept drinking. And that guy was just like, I ain't fucking with any of these are my friends. Like, as drunk as he was like, no, I ain't doing it. So they left. They ended up leaving.
Okay.
And they were like, I'm talking like model bodies, like hourglass. Like you could tell they had work done. You could tell they do Botox, their fillers, all that, like really pretty. But one of the girls has herpes. And so our friend was like, I was like, dude, those girls were thirsty. Like every single one of them are friends, but every single one of them was trying to up the other to fucking hook up with you. Like that, it was just for me, like, damn it. I
You're
can't,
speechless right now.
yeah, because I just can't see somebody like if you're with your friends, like, why are you all trying to one up each other to fuck the same person? Like, that's just weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird. Um, anyways, so we started talking about it, and my husband was like, how do you know she has herpes? And he's like, bro, she tried to hook up with me, and we started making out, and it started getting heated. And then she's like, oh, by the way, I have to tell you I have herpes. And I'm like, oh, fuck no.
Dang.
I mean, at
That's
least kudos to you for saying something.
yes.
But he was just like, fuck no, I'm fucking you. Like, it ain't going down. Like, I'm going home, put my pants on. I was like, oh my God.
I mean,
But
she
like,
did the responsible thing to say it, you know? She
well,
wasn't lying about it.
that was like on another like case, like another day. So like obviously if he turned you down, why are you still trying to one up? You know what I mean? Like, why are you still, I don't know.
Maybe because she knew, like, maybe she had that mentality, like, if I can't have them, no one will.
Probably.
Another one where it would be lying about your contraceptive. Like a
Oh
man who
yeah.
doesn't want to have kids, and you tell him, you lie to him and say, I'm on birth control, and you're not.
Yes. Yes.
That's crossing his sexual boundary because he's
Yes.
just wanting to have a good time without 18 years of responsibility.
All right.
Next
So
one is intellectual boundaries. That's basically like people respecting your opinions on certain topics. They may disagree with them, but they're not crossing the line in trying to change your mind. Knowing when the right time is to talk about a certain topic as well. Not, you know, people crossing intellectual boundaries are people that like hear what you have to say and then make you feel like shit for having that opinion. Like, oh my God, you believe that? How stupid of you. Like, they're crossing your intellectual boundary because they're making you feel shameful or guilty about your knowledge on something or your opinion on something. I feel like that's one that's not very well known as being a boundary that people cross.
yeah, because I just feel like I don't know. For me, I feel like those situations, I kind of just go with the flow. Like if somebody interrupts the conversation with their own opinion, I don't really fight back and be like, keep your opinion to yourself, unless it's my kids. But like if I'm in a conversation, it's kind of just like that's where I become quiet. Like I'm just not gonna voice my opinion anymore or say anything or just let it be.
I think at the end of the day, nobody should feel as if they have to pretend to be a certain way in order to feel love, accepted, and all that. Like if
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, I can't let them know I'm into fucking, I don't know, Pokemon, or else they're gonna think like she's still a kid or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Or I can't let them know like I don't like going to bars anymore because they're gonna think I'm not fun. Like that's already you crossing your own boundaries in making yourself be presented to people in a certain way just to feel accepted.
Which a lot of people do because we want to feel loved. We want to feel acknowledged. We want to feel some type of way. But I feel like it all comes down to like with self-love, where like once you love yourself enough to know that I don't have to be the center of attention, I don't have to be disrespected, I don't have like, I could be me. Like, once you're so comfortable in being you, whatever you is, like, that's when I feel like the real version of you or the real healing takes place. And you know that you've been working really hard and doing some good things. But I definitely feel like this one, you're right. Like it, nobody really thinks about it. We just kind of either overly vocalize and not realize you're intervening in somebody's space, possibly, or you stay quiet. Like I'm the stay quiet. Some people are the over expressors.
I feel like this one needs to be talked about a lot more, especially in today's society where it's a bunch of peer pressure, a bunch of pressures to be hip with the new things, hip with the like all the social media, all the pressure of social media, of being liked to people you don't even fucking know. Like
Yes.
trying to
Yes.
be trying to present yourself through a screen to someone just to be able to gain their acceptance.
Yes, 100%. And I feel like we all kind of want to fit in different ways. So we all try to do different things, whether it's good or bad. And we it's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune tarot card where we just like spin this wheel of like, I'm gonna try it this time and see where it gets me, or I'm gonna try it this way and see how far it gets me. But I really just feel like with this one, it's understanding everybody. If you're in a conversation, read body language. Maybe you're talking about something and people are getting uncomfortable, and it's kind of like they don't want to hurt your feelings to say, like, you're wrong, or I don't believe in that, or I don't feel this is right. Like, read the body language, read the situation that you're in, and make the adjustments, paying attention to other people.
For sure. Reading each other's body languages, knowing when it's a good time to bring up some certain topics and everything.
All right, our next one is emotional. And the emotional, it kind of goes with the intellectual in a sense because it's your feelings. It's setting boundaries with your feelings. So if your feelings are hurt, whether it's somebody makes you cry, somebody makes you mad, somebody disrespects you in any way, shape, or form, don't break up what you have to say little by little and vocalize it. I'm always on TikTok, like speak your mind, speak your truth. It all goes through your throat chakra. And once your throat chakra gets blocked, you start like sore throat, coughing, your throat just feels clogged all, for no reason. It's because you need to speak or voice your opinions. So this emotional like boundary is telling you if somebody's hurting your feelings, express it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
little by little say, let's just not talk about that right now. Like, no, be like, this is hurting my feelings. The way you're talking to me, the words that you're using. You know what it comes down to is like, think about an argument with somebody, an argument that you've had. Like, is there name calling involved? Is there belittling? Because a lot of times in arguments, people belittle, right? We're like, well, you did this and you did this and you did this. But sometimes we have to turn the finger. Like, I believe that some arguments, it takes two people. Somebody's right, somebody's wrong. Sometimes both people are wrong, and sometimes we have to turn the finger and say, hey, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you like that. I'm not going to belittle you. I'm not going to make you feel like shit. I'm not like, let's talk about this. Like Roxy said, in her relationship, she's a communicator. She over communicates. So speaking your truth and saying, hey, this is how I feel. This is what hurt my feelings. Or don't use that name. Don't call me that name.
I think emotional boundaries also needs to be it's harder to maintain for a male than a female considering the masculinity that stereotype of a male that is set by society. For example, it may be harder for men to like express what their emotions in general, to express that they are feeling a certain type of way, to express that they are feeling sad, to express that they are, like we see it all the time, like people going through a hardship. Females are going to be easy to like cry about it and vent about it, while the men in the relationship tend to feel as if they need to like hold their ground and stay strong for them. I mean, I've done it with my boys when I was a single mom. I was like, I can't let them see me cry. I can't let them, like being able to express those emotions is certainly you being able to set emotional boundaries in order for you to allow yourself to feel in order to proceed in life.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Material slash financial boundaries is next, where that's like you feeling you have a certain ownership over something to the point where you feel uncomfortable letting other people use it. I guess it's more being able to set boundaries to protect your investments, to protect what you've earned, to protect what you've bought. Like this house, I tell the boys all the time, like, don't fucking mistreat this house. Like, I've worked hard to get this house for you. That's me setting my material boundaries for them to make sure they're taking care of this house because it's supposed to last us a long time, Between siblings, it could be, your younger sister going in your closet and fucking, or your daughter, in your case, Drea, going in your closet and getting your favorite pair of shoes or something without asking.
Girl, this morning I went to go use my makeup and I'm like, why are my brushes missing? Like, there's why. And I wanted to wake her up and be like, where the fuck is my shit? But I'm like, wait till you wake up.
Or you give people permission to borrow your stuff, but they return them in a manner that's like, bro, this is not how. Yeah. Or like if you allow someone to borrow your car, they return it with like empty tank. Like it's common courtesy. Fill it up a little bit. Like don't give me enough to just make it to the gas station.
Yeah. I feel like, that saying, like, if you purchase something with your own money, you value it more than like a gift. I feel like that is so true because when I buy my own things, I'm like, no, take care of it. Don't scratch it. Like that's my car. Like I pay for that. No, you're not driving it. No, you're not putting no, 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 no. So that's really the material and financial is, I feel like it's really a good one because especially if you are practical planning, like if you're trying to leave your relationship, if you're trying to like better yourself, getting that financial boundary of like, hey, you know what? I need to save money for my move in 6 months. So I'm not going to go get fast food. I'm setting this boundary, like no fast food for 6 months. I'm cooking dinner every day.
Yes.
Setting those like making sure that you are setting yourself up for success always when it comes to your materialistic things. Maybe like not maybe saying like, hey, I don't need that whatever Lululemon dress workout outfit. Like I don't need it. Like I'll just go to Walmart or Target and just buy me some $12 short. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's setting yourself up for success when it comes to money because
budgeting is a huge thing. Yeah.
Yep. Money moves, money moves, money moves. So trying to figure out how money could move for you instead of like, unless you just have money to pour out your ass and you're like, I could buy that, I could buy that, I could buy that, I could buy that. And money's not an issue. But for most of us, it is. So making sure you set those healthy boundaries with money and materialistic items.
The next one, which I think is our last one, is the time boundaries. So time boundaries, yeah. I mean, we only have so much time in a day. We only have so much time in our lives. Like, I feel like the pandemic has punctured time boundaries, especially when it comes to career. Because what happened, everybody moved from working in office to working at home. So the time, like, there's a blur of when to work and when not to work. Setting time boundaries, like last week, I was working on this huge ass project at work. And then it got to the point where Thursday came along because I'm off Friday, Saturdays. And I'm just like, fuck, should I stay to finish this project or should I? And I was like, no, like I need my time off. Like, and I literally asked them, I'm going to finish this project Sunday when I come in. And they're like, oh yeah. And to my surprise, they were like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. Like, bye. Instead of like crossing my own time boundary, which could be spent with my family and in other things, and staying to work late, like you lose track of time. You're crossing your own time boundary because you're not prioritizing like, okay, I'm just going to limit myself to this from this time to this time, then be able to make room for this, you know?
Yeah.
Respecting other people's time limitations that could go with like planned arrangements. Like for me, especially when I was a single mom, I think this came to play. My time boundary was when I was a single mom trying to date. If someone flaked on me, I would be like, no, like I'm a single mom working full time, providing for my kids. I have two boys that need my time too. I get a babysitter, make time for you, and then you flake. Like, fuck no, that was your only one and only chance. Like, that was my hard boundary when I was single.
That's a good one though, because it's true. You were doing a lot and you had a lot on your plate. And if somebody wasn't willing to meet you halfway, then what do you think? How can you think that a relationship's going to work? You're going to be fucking up in a bunch of shit in the relationship if you can't even show up to a date when you go through all of that.
Okay, so what's funny is here I am. It's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself. When me and the fiance decided to go out on a first date, he stood me up. He claims he didn't, but in my head, I think he did. We had planned to go out, and I didn't need a babysitter or nothing because it was going to be during a time frame that the kids were at school. And I feel like that's probably why I gave him another chance, because it's not like I had to rearrange my whole life, you know? But to his, giving him the benefit of the doubt, it was because he was stuck on 24-hour duty. So in the Army, every so often they get signed up for 24-hour duty where they have to stay like in the barracks or stay at a certain location for 24 hours to check in and check out people to deal with any emergencies that come up type of thing, right? So they literally have to stay awake for 24 hours. And it was his time. So it came out of nowhere. I think he was covering someone. I don't know. But I feel like because of that and because I didn't have to plan a babysitter, I gave him another chance, and look at where we're at now.
I mean, I could kind of see that. I can kind of see like you didn't have to go through all the riffraff of dropping kids off, picking kids up, getting babysitter on a time limit. Like it was already set. So it was just a matter of you picking yourself up and worrying about you, getting you to wherever your destination was and coming back. Mm-hmm. So I could see that. I think
it was the fact that I didn't have to jump through a lot of hoops to get to that date that I was able to accept. Okay, let's read, because if I'm going through all these hoops, putting all these puzzle pieces together to make sure it's right, and you can't have the decency to call me to be like, yo, like, no.
So wait, somebody that stood you up didn't even call to say like, I'm not going to show up?
So I'm the type of person, because of me not liking having, well, how could I put this? There was a time where I was planning to meet someone at Buffalo Wild Wings and they stood me up and didn't let me know until after the fact. I forgot what excuse they had. It was probably a really good excuse, but at that point I didn't give a fuck. I mean, I still went to Buffalo Wild Wings. I still ate. I was watching the game. I met new people at the bar, and that made me courageous enough to start doing it more often by myself instead of meeting that company. And that's when I started going to the movies by myself, taking myself out to eat by myself and stuff like that, while the kids were like in school, while the kids were doing something with their activity, while they spent the night at my parents, something like that, I don't know. I feel like because I think the trauma of me losing people and not having that extra little time with them also makes time boundaries a very, very hard boundary I set, where even now it's like, I mean, you've heard me where it's like, I get pissed when like schedule changes, because it's like rearranging everything to make sure I still make time for the boys, because I'm at work 40 hours a week. I can't face to face with, I work at home, but I think that's like the thing that people don't understand. Working from home doesn't necessarily mean you're still present with people at home.
Right. Because you're like in your zone, locked up away from everybody who's in the house.
Yeah. So when it comes to the kids, and now the fiance, since he's part of the family, those are time with them, I feel like are my non-negotiables. Because of the trauma and grief I've spent losing other people, that like where I think like, fuck, I should have made time to call them. I should have made time for like a quick text,
Yes. I go back.
So I think that's where my end, where it's time management is huge for me because of that. I don't want to make I don't want at the end of the day to feel guilty like I should have made time for the kids. I should have made time to take them to the park, you know?
I was like that with the kids because I worked 3 jobs at one point when they were growing up. So I missed like a lot of things, a lot for years because I was too busy working. But I don't feel like I hold on to it. Like I don't feel like it was something that I feel like at one point in life for a little bit, I was like, some of my kids would throw that guilt trip, like, you missed this, you missed open house, you missed my band performance, you missed whatever. But dude, I was working. Like, it wasn't because I was out partying or choosing, like, I had to work to provide. But I don't feel like it traumatized me like it traumatized you. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. Like, I did miss a shit ton of things, and my kids to this day, some of them still guilt trip me for things that I missed. But I'm like, dude, what am I supposed to do? I was working. Like, you'll get it
Do
when
you,
you
tr-
get older.
do you try to make up for it now, making time for them?
Mm, Not like a point. Like, I don't make it a point to like make time. No,
Do you
I
think
think
that's why
that's
they're still
just
asked bringing it up and trying to guilt trip you? Like, well, like saying like that
maybe,
may have been your excuse when we were growing up, but what's your excuse now type of thing?
maybe, yeah. Because I feel like everybody, we kind of just parted ways because now everybody is like busy doing whatever. So it's like, if the topic ever came up, it might be a touchy subject for some of them, but I think everybody's just covering it up with whatever else, their friends, going out, working, whatever they're doing, you know? So I think if the topic came up though, everybody would have something to say.
I feel like that's a lot of our listeners where they feel void of feeling of spending time with someone, or they feel some sort of void, so they try to fill it somewhere else, regardless if it's bad or good or whatever it is. But then again, like I told you, like I've lost, I mean, since we've met, I've lost already 2 people, my best friend, and then just recently, my grandpa's sister passed away like just last month. Everybody called her Big Mama, and she was like, oh my God, she was such a lovable person. And it's just like, when am I going to catch a break? Like, I need people to stop dying on me. Like, I mean, granted, Big Mama,
Like,
it was her time, and stuff. But, I'm grateful for the time I had when she went, the time I made for her when she did come to visit Texas.
mhm.
I let her stay at my house. I made her breakfast. Even though I was working and I couldn't take the day off, I made sure during my lunch break to go to her and be like, I'm making you breakfast, come and eat, like within
Yeah.
that hour, still making time for her. And now I could look back and be like, hey, I don't regret, instead of thinking back and like, I didn't have time boundaries and I worked through lunch that day. Imagine how guilty I would have felt now?
Yep. Because that
So
was your
time
one
boundaries,
minute. Right.
yes. So
Mhm.
time boundaries, I feel like that's why it's non-negotiable for me because I'm losing people left and right. Knock on wood that's it for a while. And that's where the trauma of time comes into play for me.
That's deep. That is deep. Well, I love this topic. I know there's a few like things to like, I don't know what I want to call them, like eye openers, I guess, to kind of pay attention for or things to look out for when you're communicating your boundaries, when make sure that you're specific with whatever it is. So tell your partner, like, this is my expectation, this is my boundaries, this is my limits, this is whatever, right? Know exactly how you're going to say it and make sure you choose your words wisely because your statement sentences, they need to be specific. It's just like manifesting. When we manifest, we don't manifest, I just need money, right? It's like, I need $4,000, I need $2,000, I need a new car, that's a whatever, like detail. So you speaking your boundaries is all about detail. Doesn't have to be long, this big old paragraph, but hey, this is my limit. I can only drink one drink because after one drink I get drunk, so that's my limit.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely being able to speak your truth and speak your mind.
Yeah. And don't feel guilty setting boundaries with different people, whether it's your parents, your siblings, your spouse, partner, your boss, your coworkers, your friends, everybody and anybody should you should be able to set those boundaries with anybody and everybody in your life. In the book I just finished reading, the It Starts With Us book by Colleen Hoover, which was amazing and so healing to read as well. There was a quote she put in there that really stuck to me, where there's this toxic belief that that families should stick together because they're family, because they're blood. And that's a toxic belief that a lot of us like put ourselves through. Yeah. Our family can be filled with like toxicity or whatever, but because we were born and grown to understand like, oh no, but they're blood, you're supposed to stick with them. It's like there you are holding, like being held down because of family members, where instead you could set those boundaries, set yourself free, and go up from there. If you still have questions on how to maintain a healthy boundary or how to set a healthy boundary, definitely email us. Hit us up on Instagram. We could point you to different resources, different books, different articles where you just read them and then they'll go ahead and help you set and maintain those healthy boundaries. And I feel like we ran out of time for me to share my wedding story. So that'll be maybe on the season finale. That'll have to have you guys keep listening.
That's funny. All right. Well, this was fun. I hope this was helpful. If you gained anything, like Roxy said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you need more guidance, more help, reach out. We are always here to help in any way, shape, or form. Book some private appointments with me or Roxy. You could find us on Instagram. If you follow us on the podcast, we each have our, you can find us to our personal pages, book private appointments. Tons of love to you guys, tons of light, tons and tons and tons of healing. And we are out this BITCH.
Bye.
Inside the minds of psychic mamas. Good vibes, stick that. Inside the minds of psychic mamas. Psychic mamas. Your favorite psychic mamas. Psychic mamas. Your favorite psychic mamas.